You alright, Alan?
Hi babe, how's it going?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Where are you?
Good. I'm just in town. How are the kids doing?
They're fine.
Listen, just a dead quick one. I was literally in town and guess who I bumped into? I've literally just bumped into Hannah and I've not seen her in ages, have I?
Hannah? What
Yeah.
was that?
Yeah, the one from college.
Oh.
So listen, I was just wondering, could you literally just hold on to the kids just for a couple more hours on your own? Because I said to her, you know what, let's literally just pop in town, just for a drink.
Sinead, are you being serious right now? This is my one day off, and you said you'd be home 15 minutes ago, and I'm sat here with the kids, and they want their mum, and I don't know what to do, and then you're saying you're going out drinking.
No, honestly, literally, we are just going to pop into town for like an hour, we're just going to have a few drinks, literally, we're just going to have a coffee and maybe a little bit of lunch. Honestly, would you mind?
Right, so is it drinks or is it coffee? Because if it's coffee, then that shouldn't be 2 hours. If it's drinks, you won't come home tonight. I know what Hannah's like. Honestly, every time, it always ends up being this longer thing. This is my one day off, Sinead. One day.
Mark, please do not be like this today.
What do you mean?
Please.
Why you
No,
doing this
right,
today?
because, right, honestly, Mark, how often is it, and be honest, how often is it I actually get to just pop into town just with a friend? It never happens.
What do you mean? You're in town right now. It happens a lot.
No.
And then I'm the one that has to just I don't know what to do with them.
No.
They want their mum.
What do you mean you
What's
don't?
for dinner for them?
What do you mean you don't know what to do with them? Mark, they are just...
I'm sick. I try to talk to them and they don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. This is why I need you to look after them.
Mark, do you think I get a day off? Do you think, as a mother, they go, oh, you know what, here's the magic one, have a day off, why don't you? That does not happen. So you know what, you should be thankful to have your day off with them.
Yeah, but a day with the kids is hardly like a day off at work, is it? It's not exactly.
Honestly, you know what disgusts me the most? And it really boils my blood, is the fact that you are not on the phone right now saying, do you know what, babe, I would love a bit of extra time with them. You know what, you've been working so hard, go and enjoy yourself, have a good few hours, and we'll be waiting for him when you get back. You don't even want to spend time with them.
I'm spending time with them, but you were meant to be back 15 minutes ago to get them dinner and get them washed and stuff, and I'm just sat here what a fun.
I just feel like you have got a clock on me all the time. You know what, I did come out for a fun time this morning. I came to shop for the things that we need.
And I need you to watch the kids. That's your job.
Honest to God, Mark, the level that you put in with the children, honestly, I'm not just saying this, it breaks my heart. You don't put in enough time. You don't put in enough time to us either. Yes, I know you're out working, but you've got to give more.
Right, but you're saying I don't get time with you, and now you're going out with a pal drinking, so how am I meant to spend time with you?
You're going out drinking, I'm not going out drinking, I'm literally seeing a friend for an hour tops, but you know what, there's no point because you've already ruined it.
So you're coming home then?
Yes, I am coming home, so then you can go and do whatever you want to do with your day, and I will look after the children, yeah?
Yeah, that's the way it's meant to be. Do what you promised me.
Right, brilliant. I am so glad you've got exactly what you wanted.
Right, well, I'll see you soon then.
That is a dysfunctional relationship. Firstly, the first thing I want to ask is, why was she recording? Because that makes it a bit sus.
No, I think, to be honest, it didn't even look like she bumped into Hannah or anything. I think she was just trying to prove a point.
Oh, she was trying to catch him out. The thing is that we don't have...
He does this all the time.
We don't have full context. We don't know what this guy does for a job. What I would say is that just on that video alone, he sounds incredibly selfish. But...
Sounds like a waste man, bro.
Yeah, in that video, he sounds like a waste man, but like we don't have the full context.
Okay, forget about the full context right now. Judging off of what's just happened, she's saying, I bumped into my friend, can you look after the kid for an extra few hours? And him be like, no, this is my only day off. I don't want to look after them. I don't know what to do with them. What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I think that comment, I don't know what to do with them, is ridiculous.
It's pathetic, bro.
Yeah, he's a father. You should know, whether or not you were, I don't know what's going on in their personal lives, but just that comment, that's itself,
whether you or not you know what to do with your kids is like, at least try. Like, these are your kids. They're going to be in your life for the rest of your life.
He doesn't sound
where you're just going to go around your entire life just not knowing what to do with your kids. Like, that's dumb.
My problem with him is that he didn't push back on her in a way that made it seem like he had even a fair point. It was just, I want you to come home. This is your job. I don't know what to do with them. So He sounds like an incompetent father and a selfish husband. And I think from what I understand, she works as well. But did I get that right?
I don't know. I don't know. But
It doesn't sound like she does. It sounds like most of her time is spent with the children.
This is the issue with this whole situation. Is no, Michael. No,
That doesn't justify it.
No. I just want to say one thing. If he works the kind of job where he's like working more than what we normally, like people work 8 hours, right? Let's say that he's working like a very, very long job. Like, you know, sometimes jobs go on for like 14 hours or whatever. If he's doing that back to back and he said, this is my one day off, I can hear the frustration. Because if she's not working and she's always at home, I get that she's bumped into her friend. She wants to see her friend.
No.
But if, let's say that he said, I'm just going to go off the video. He said, this is my one day off. So I don't know how long this guy has not had a day off. I don't know how many hours he works. We don't know what's going on in their marriage. If that was the case, I can hear his frustration.
I disagree.
No, because
Heavily
even
disagree.
if that is his only day off, that means the rest of the time when he's not home working, he's not spending that with the children. So that one day that he has time to spend with the children, he doesn't even want to. This guy doesn't even sound like he wanted children. He sounds like a guy that got married and then thought, okay, the next step is probably to have children. And then he just popped the couple out. This guy sounds like a waste man, bro.
No, I would agree. I'm trying to like.
No.
I'm not playing devil's advocate. I'm just trying to like poke holes because I'm leaning on her side, obviously, especially with how frustrated she looked. I'm just trying to acknowledge that there was a camera at a time where someone could have been made to look really bad.
Okay, this whole video could have been faked, staged, whatever. But let's just assume it wasn't.
Yeah, obviously he looks terrible.
Look, I disagree with what you was just saying because you're saying you don't know what type of job he does, what kind of hours he does, etc. Very well. He might have a tough job. Fair enough. But it's like people look and think that women who stay at home with kids all day, that it's easy for them. She's probably up just as early as him, if not maybe earlier, and she's looking after the kids all day, all through the night, like feeding them, cleaning up, like entertaining kids is long and tough itself. You could probably ask people who work in nurseries, people who are full-time mums, etc. It's not easy. So for her, that's a full-time job as well, and she's spending all of her hours at home. She probably doesn't get any time to herself as well to go and do anything that she needs to do. So just because he's out working doesn't make what he's doing any more harder than her situation, and it doesn't dismiss the fact that maybe this is her only day off or time that she gets to go out with her friends because he's at home. It's about balance, but it's not to say that he deserves that more than she does, because it's probably just as tough for her.
I would refer back to a comedy special that I saw Bill Burr do about women were saying that being a mother is the hardest job in the world, and Bill Burr's whole joke was being a mother is not the hardest job in the world. Being a roofer as a ginger man is much harder for like 12 hours in the sun or whatever.
She's done this, she's done that, she's done this, and she does the most difficult job on the planet. She's the mother, and continues on. Immediately, I just look at my girlfriend like, you know, like, really? Being a mother is the most difficult job on the planet? Oh yeah, all those mothers who die every year from black lung, from inhaling all that coal dust. Women are just constantly patting themselves on the back about how difficult their lives are, and no one corrects them because they want to f them.
My point is that there are some jobs out there that, I know you're shaking your head, but there are some jobs out there that can literally break you to the bone. So whilst I agree with
Motherhood
you
can do that to a lot of women as well.
Yeah,
but is working those jobs an excuse for you not to give your children any time?
No, see, I'm not against you guys with that point.
Okay.
I'm more against like the point you've just made now.
You won't, until you've stayed at home, right, every day for a whole year and looked after a child or children day in and day out, then come and have this conversation.
Well, have you looked after children?
Yes, I have looked after children.
But you're not a mum, so...
Exactly. And if I feel tired just looking after kids and me not being the mum, doing that full time, getting up early, this, that and the other, then I can imagine it's 10 times worse.
No, I get looking after kids is tired. I've looked after kids for short periods of time and I get wound up as well. I get it's
try
tiring.
and do that every single day. No time to go gym, no time to go see your friends, do what you want to do, draining, dealing with it, and then come and have this conversation, because I don't think that you can comment and say that it's not that hard.
But I also don't think you can comment and speak on a man that works excessive hours in very strenuous
Yeah, you
conditions.
can't. But I don't think you can. I don't think that you can say one's more reasonable than the other for him to deserve a day off without the kids and her to not get any day off.
In that video, because the comment that bothered me the most of him is when he said, "I don't know what to do with these kids." That I couldn't get on board with. But my only pushback with what you're saying is that if he was working a job, or if a random man was working a job that excessively like does you in, like these manual labor jobs, and let's say he doesn't really get that many days off. Let's say I know someone that was working for almost like a month straight, and they were getting 1 day off. I can understand why they would feel frustrated if their partner stepped out on that day, even if the partner was the one looking after the kids. The only problem that I have with what this guy said was, I don't know what to do with them. He should know what to do with them. They're his kids. But I can get, if you've been working yourself to the bone, and I'm sorry, I don't agree with people that say that raising kids is more difficult than every single job. It's more difficult than some jobs.
Than every single job, but I also don't think it's fair with what you're saying, because then just because he works a hard job, what is your solution here? So she's never allowed to get a time off or a day to herself, a break away from the kids, just because he works a hard job? That's not very fair.
Yeah, but then what do you say to him? Let's say that he's been working long hours. Let's say he's been working 14, 16-hour shifts, and he gets 1 day off, and then now he's looking after a bunch of kids that are making a lot of noise.
Yeah, but looking
Then what
after kids and being a housewife that looks after the house and basically looks after you as well, like cleans, cooks, everything for you as well. That's almost a full-time job as well, right? Do you know what I'm saying?
I'm on your side.
You're not though.
I am. I'm just trying to acknowledge that there's two sides to this. You have to understand people's frustrations as well. I'm not on his side.
Yeah, but essentially what you're saying is that he's more deserving of the time off because his job is harder.
I didn't say that.
And she should just stop complaining because it's not that difficult being a full-time mum.
Those words never came out.
That's what I'm taking from what you're saying, because you're not finding a middle ground or a balance here as to what she can do. So she has to just full-time do this mum thing and never have a break or time to herself just because he works a harder job.
At no point did I say that she has to do anything. All I said was that I can hear the frustration. If that was the case, if what I'm saying is the case, I'm not saying that he shouldn't step up and be a dad. I'm not saying that he shouldn't look after his 3 and 6 year old if she steps out for an hour. And personally, if it was me, you guys know what I'm like, I'm laid back. If someone called me up and said, I need you to do it for another hour, I'll just say yeah.
It shouldn't even be questioned.
No, I don't think that's fair. Like if somebody is doing if someone's doing a strenuous job and they're getting no days off, because we've both had people, I've had people in my family that have worked themselves to death, literally, into an early grave. If you get 1 day off and someone steps out on your day off, I can understand your frustration. I'm not saying he handled it in the best way, but to not understand someone's feelings on that is a little bit ignorant. I can understand her feelings as well, but why can't we understand the flip side?
We can understand that, but it feels like it seems as though you're steering more towards his side.
This isn't about him. This is about the overarching point.
Yeah,
I'm not on his side.
You're steering more towards the working man's side than the woman. I think that maybe you need to look into what women go through in parenthood. You know, like you're saying, there's people who've worked themselves into graves. That could very well happen with women as well, because they're not getting that break or time away from the kids that they might need. And a lot of women, when they first have babies, go through, I think it's called like postpartum depression or something, and it can get really bad. Like there's just a lot more to it than just looking after a kid.
I'm not saying that there's not, and I'm not saying that she's right or wrong. I'm simply saying that I can acknowledge someone's frustrations if they're doing a strenuous job.
And are you saying that you can't acknowledge her frustration within that phone call as well, of just wanting an extra hour with her friend?
Say?
No, I'm asking you.
No, of course. That's why I said I'm on her side. He sounds like a douchebag, but the overarching point, it's not just we don't listen to the guy as well. Like like you said, there's a middle ground here. His comment was ridiculous that he doesn't know what to do with his 3 and 6 year old. It says that he hasn't been paying enough attention as a father. Even personally, like if I had a day off to be around my family, I'd be more than happy to do it. I would sit all with my friends or whatever. But he sounds like he's just busy doing his own thing. But what I'm saying is that there are people out there that do ridiculously long hours. They come back, they barely get any sleep. If they get 1 day off, I can understand why they would get a bit pissed off that their partners maybe stepped out. It doesn't mean she doesn't have a right to be pissed off.
Is it
as well.
justified though?
It depends. It depends on the situation. If I'm working like, because I used to do 18-hour shifts, right, and I did that back to back for about 3 weeks before I took a day off. Now, yeah, I'm a father. If I was a father and I came home, then yeah, I have a responsibility to look after those kids as well. But if you can't understand why I'd be a little bit pressed, considering I get 4 hours sleep a day, if you can't understand and we can't come to middle ground, then we can't talk.
I mean, I can understand, but it's not justified.
If she said she was stepping out for an hour, like she said, that's cool, that's fine. But if it's my 1 day off and you're stepping out for the entire day, then you're not justified.
But then her 1 day off is the same as your 1 day off, because realistically, when is her other day off?
I'm using more the jobs that I've done and the how my body has felt at the end of it. I know that mums ain't feeling like that at the end of it. My mum would not be able to put up with the work that I've done. So yeah, I can understand raising kids is difficult, but the physical toll that the jobs that I used to do took on me, I couldn't go to the gym. And you know what I'm like, I'll make any excuse to go to the gym. I couldn't physically get up. So if I'm getting 4 hours sleep and coming home and then you go out for the entire day, yeah, I'm going to be pissed. If you tell me, look, I bumped into my friend in town, we're going to go for a coffee, of course, an extra hour is not going to hurt. If you're gone the whole day, no, absolutely not. Because then neither of us, this doesn't benefit either of us. Yeah, you're looking after the kids all day, I get that, but I'm working all day. So who's in the wrong and who's in the right here?
Yeah.
Now, the flip side of that is that if she had a full-time job as well and he was behaving like that, then he's 100% in the wrong. Because she's got a full-time job, she's probably cooking for him, she's looking after the kids. Then obviously it would flip completely on her side. But I'm sorry, unless you've worked a job where it feels like your body's literally breaking in half and you barely get any sleep, not getting any sleep and being on your feet all day is ridiculous. And I'm talking like manual labor, picking up heavy objects and being in the cold constantly. No, I'm not.
I think we're talking about different things now. The guy in the video is definitely unjustified in what he's saying.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. Based on what the information we got, but to Sabi's point, I disagree with. I think that you have to have...
I don't get how you can completely disagree with it, though.
I disagree with it because you don't want to acknowledge that somebody might feel broken.
That's not what I said. That's
what was
not what
the point
I said.
that you disagree with?
My point is that if
what was Sabi's point that you disagree with?
The point that I disagreed with Sabi is that, yeah, I acknowledge that looking after kids as a mum is difficult, and she might not get a day off as well. But if I was working a strenuous job, who is entitled to the time off in town, or who's entitled there? Who does that go to? Because one person's the breadwinner, and is breaking their bones, and the other person is at home raising the kids.
Okay, maybe the other person can't go out and be a breadwinner as well because she's looking after the kids.
I get that, but then who is entitled to their day off?
Does being a breadwinner entitle you to not spend any time with your children?
No, it doesn't entitle you to not spend time with your children, but
it sounds like that's what she's saying though, right? If you're a breadwinner that's going that hard, that means on your working days, you're probably not spending any time with your children. So you have an obligation on your day off to spend time with your children, no?
Yes, but if you are going that hard, it would stand to reason that you're probably sick and drained and you need to sleep to go that hard, especially with the economy that we live in. Because then if you don't, then who's going to bring the money home?
But who's going to, I mean, are your children just never meant to bond with you just because you're working that hard? Like,
no.
It's obviously a sacrifice, but that's what having children is, right? And raising children.
I understand that, but my only issue here is that I don't think that being at home raising the kids entitles you to a day off over me if I'm also out there making the money and coming home very late and not getting much sleep. That I'm not agreeing with this guy. I'm disagreeing with Sabi's point.
I agree that it doesn't entitle you more, but it should very well be equal because you're both essentially working full time and both need a break or time to yourself.
Yeah, it should be equal. 100%. That's why I said he's a douchebag, because when they were talking, she said, I guess I'm going to come home then. He said, cool. It wasn't like he was trying to compromise. She said that if I go for an hour, is that cool? He didn't even want to budge on that. So I'm not on his side. I'm just saying that like the entitlement thing, like who gets the day off, I don't think it sways to the mum at all.
I never said it sways to the mum though. I never said it sways to the mum. I'm just saying it's unfair to just say that a man who works a hard job would deserve it more over the mum because it's just as tough.
Yeah,
But that's
I
the
haven't
point
said that.
I'm getting at. But I haven't said that it should be more towards the mum. That's you're disagreeing with me because you think I'm trying to say it should only be the mum. No, but there needs to be middle ground here. You can't say the man deserves it more just because he works a harder job. That's unfair.
No, I'm not saying he deserves it more. All I said was that I understand the sentiment. I understand the sentiment of being frustrated.
And I understand her sentiment as well.
Yeah, I get where she's coming from. Especially in her situation, the way he responded to her, it sounds like they got other problems. They got other things to work on. Good luck to those kids, boy. They're gonna need it.
Good luck to her, boy.
She's gonna divorce him.
Yeah,
100%. But it doesn't really prove an entire point. Like if you just take the video itself,
I can see that like making a good case for her in court. That this guy's a waste man.
no, 100%. But my only problem is that like when you start taking things where there's like only a bit of context, it can start spiraling out of control. If we're just looking at the video, then I'm on her side. But they've got a whole marriage. She might have done something to him a long time ago, and he's just now taking out on the kids and taking out on her. Doesn't justify it, but there's
If
reasons
anything,
for
makes him even bigger of a waste.
yeah. But I'm saying there's reasons for why people do things, right? Sometimes
Yeah,
people
but I
will do
mean,
things, and
That's fine. I mean, not all reasons are good though, or justifying.
again, I haven't used the word justify.
Some men are just.
Then why are you
selfish,
bringing
though.
up the point?
Huh? I'm saying that like just looking at one clip doesn't give the full context of the situation.
Yeah, I mean,
He might
we
have.
can only
he-
go off whatever we have.
Yeah, he could have even reacted like that because she might have been like that in the past. And now the roles are flipped. I've seen that in relationships.
Still doesn't justify abusing the kids like that.
Bruv, no one's saying justifying. I'm literally just saying that if you're going to take something to court, more evidence could come up that could make people go, oh, okay. The kids lose here, but whoever's the douchebag, we won't fully know because we don't know what's going on behind closed doors.